Alright, hey guys, it's Elliot here and you're watching my first year on T. So this week we are talking about how we got our names, and this will probably be a quick video for me because it wasn't like a super long process. Obviously I chose the name Elliot. My middle name is Cooper, and it was Cooper before I changed my name, so I just kept it as Cooper. So when I was first trying out names, I actually started going by Cooper because it was already my middle name, and I thought that that would be, a good like transition. I wouldn't have to do anything really, but it didn't really fit me. It just kind of didn't feel right. And then I decided that I wanted to keep the first letter. My birth name started with E, so I thought I'll do an E name. In hindsight, I kind of wish that I hadn't done that. I wish I had broadened my options a little more, because there's not a ton of names that start with E that are masculine, I guess. So I mean, that's one regret, but I mean, I really like my name, so it's not a big regret or anything. So first I went with Emerson, and I tried that for a while. I had my partner call me Emerson, and I would give it at Starbucks, all the things. I think Luca mentioned the Starbucks thing. So I tried that, and it still didn't really feel right. It didn't feel like it fit me very well. And then I came across the name Elliot, and I really liked it. And there's a ton of ways to spell it, but I do it with 2 L's and 1 T. I just liked how it looked. There was no deeper meaning to that spelling. And I started going by Elliot, having people call me Elliot, and I just really liked it. It was just kind of yeah, this kind of feels like me. And I asked a few of my friends, do you think Elliot, fits me, as a person, I guess? And they're like, yeah, totally. And I kind of agree. I feel like it kind of has a sort of literary, hipstery feel. I don't know if that's me projecting my personality onto the name. I also liked that it wasn't super common, but wasn't super uncommon. So there's a lot of people that choose really unique names, and great for them, but I wanted a name that kind of went along with people who were born when I was born, in 95 or the 90s or whatever. But I didn't want one that everyone picked. And now I've learned that actually a lot of trans guys pick the name Elliot. But whatever. It to me doesn't seem super common. I had never met another Elliot before. I mean, and then after I picked it, I was kind of oh, it makes a lot of sense. George Eliot, the author, is one of my favorite literary authors or whatever. And then another connection that I really liked was my favorite movie when I was little was Pete's Dragon. The original one from a long time ago. I had it on VHS and I would watch it all the time. I loved that movie. And in the movie, the dragon's name is Elliot. And so, that's really cool. I actually considered getting a Pete's Dragon tattoo for to symbolize my trans journey or whatever, because it's Elliot the Dragon.
Hi, Elliot.
That's not why I picked it. It was just interesting connections. I was oh, that's cool. It connects to one of my favorite authors, and it connects to this movie that I like. It just kind of cemented it for me. My advice for picking a name is don't limit yourself. I understand if you want to keep the first initial or whatever, but don't let that hinder you if you really want to pick something completely different from your birth name. If your birth name is Samantha, you don't have to pick Sam as your new name. I mean, you can if that's what you really want, but if you don't let that pressure you into keeping it, or if you have a gender neutral birth name, but that in your mind is connected to the gender that you don't want to be perceived as, or the gender that you're not, then you can totally change it, even if it's a masculine or a gender neutral name. Just do whatever you want. It's your name, so just go for it. Another quick thing that I wanted to mention was that my birth name had 2 syllables, and now Elliot has 3 syllables. And for me, that's been a really weird change. I don't know, it seems so small, but the 2 syllables versus the 3 syllables is throws me off a lot. And it took me a lot of getting used to when I was first going by Elliot and kind of adjusting to the new name, to have 3 syllables instead of 2. I don't know why, but for me that was a big deal. So just keep that in mind. Maybe you want to keep the same amount of syllables, or maybe you don't give a fuck and I just really care about syllables. So, could be. So, that's all I got. I hope you guys have had a fantastic hump day as usual, and I will see you all next week. Peace.